Hello and welcome to round 2 of RTFR Season 2 for 2025, the 365th ever in the Championship's history. Tonight we're at the Layout Square for the Forge Viaduct 8 with the FZ5. You're watching Sim Broadcast on Twitch or YouTube, whichever you fancy. I'm Peter Butcher, and joining me in the commentary box tonight, it's Eoin Harmon as usual. Eoin, how's it going on?
Yeah, all good with myself. Thank you very much. Not too hot, which is ideal. We are in a cooler phase of the weather, so it's great stuff for racing, I think.
Well, I must be wearing a thick shirt because it's not the same here. But anyway, maybe the signs of it cooling down over here soon. But there we go. Wherever you are, hopefully you're enjoying your evening. But it's about to get much more interesting because we are going to hit this very interesting track that we are going to see here for the first time. It is a 3.2 kilometre, 2 mile circuit with some interesting corners and a flyover that sort of sees the racetrack go over itself for a short portion before doubling back to the home straight. 20 laps tonight around here in the FZ5, which is going to be a challenge, isn't it, Owen?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the one track where I have experience driving it, going back to the 2nd of January 2024 in the little PZG compact. So I ended up burning the clutch on that one that day, thinking it was meant to be a broadcast. But in this FZ50, big enough car, there will be space, but it can shut down on you very quickly, particularly at turn 5. That's a very sharp corner. So in this car with the power and the weight behind it, it will be a real challenge.
For sure, and obviously with the race length being around about 30 to 35 minutes, the rear tyres are going to start to cry, and that will upset some of the drivers for sure, and potentially upset the order. So we'll see how that goes. As I mentioned, this is round 2 of a 10-round Season 2 of RTFR in 2025. 8 rounds to go. Next time out, we're going to be running a mod at West Hill National Reverse. News on that soon from Rony, of course. And yeah, we'll have that to you next Tuesday. In 2 Tuesdays' time on September the 2nd, same time, same place. But yeah, back to tonight's action. Let's have a quick look at the qualifying results to see how everybody has lined up. It's Gabba, followed by Jörg Burgermeister, who, if you haven't guessed, is Mika Pantola. That is Michael Malik in P3, UM21, long time no see, in P4, with Majesta, Lorenzo, Magic, Hachiroku, Twincam, and Rony in down to P10. Then we've got Thanuli, Magic, Rid, Motomakari, Stephen Martin, Ruby, Abscargo, Crash, Timu Soini, Karadas Motoyotis down there in P22. Good to see him back. Let's have a look at the second page. We've got Jay, Kashoro, Santa Cruz, Yari Katila, Mika Sarkinen, and Rotter Ruggs. 26 qualifiers, all of whom have qualified within 107% and should be able to start the race. Owen, a good turnout for an interesting race.
Yeah, without a doubt. Perhaps the early signs were shown. Maybe only a handful of people were willing to give this a try. But yeah, in the end, to have 26 valid lap times is very encouraging. And it should bring us excitement up and down the field, which is what you want. Because certainly the start-finish straight, you'll have to be at full concentration. And it's better when you've got more opponents to think about.
Indeed, and thinking about opponents, there is obviously the Drivers' Championship standing, of which is at the end of the championship will earn the top drivers some prize money, courtesy of World Class Lines. And it's currently Gabba, our pole sitter for tonight, leading the way ahead of Sufor, who is not in attendance, and Ioni Katila, who, as far as I'm aware, unless he's masquerading, is also not in attendance. But yeah, we have a championship running, of course, at the same time, and after one round, it is Gabba leading the way, with 25 drivers currently having scored at least a point. And for sure, we're going to have more people on that list after the next 20 laps of racing, which should be getting going any minute now. It's 10 past the hour. This is the normal starting time for RTFR as the drivers vote to restart, and it'll be Eoin Harmon taking us off the line for the beginning of the race.
Yeah, right on cue, Pete. Well timed. And we are going to have a big run down to the first corner. You'll be well up to speed by the time you reach it. And indeed, the brakes on this car can be quite cumbersome at times. So you have to be on it quite early to avoid just spiraling into the wall. But yeah, a lovely looking grid. Here come the lights. And away they go. Who's got the better launch? I think in terms of the leaders, it is Nico on the outside. Nico is going to have a nose in front, but they turn left, so Gabor could try and break test him just a little bit. Here they go. It's about 100 meters. Michael Malik P3 watching to see if he can snatch a position. Jester. Oh, here a ball hits Hachiroku just sideways for a moment. There's going to be a big traffic jam here as the acute right-hander comes up. Yeah, F1 is just trying to find room to complete. Oh, spin for McElroy, or sorry, Tamuli, one of the other. They're both using identical cars. Is LG Meese, beg your pardon. So the third, Zafral's car has spun it, and he's down to the back.
Well, it's a great start from Gabber. It didn't look like it was going to be as plain sailing as he potentially wanted it, but he has broken away from Nico Pantola and Michael Malik behind, as Michael is in the slipstream of Nico as we head up the ramp for the first time of asking. The interesting part of this section where they're going to drop down to the right and back under the track for a short while. As we head down there now, we've got side-by-side action in the background. That's Rony with Magic, and they've sort of settled back into an order. In fact, I think Thamuli there is being overtaken by Twincam. Oh, and there's contact with Magic.
Well, himself and TJ were the men of the hour last week in XL. If you haven't seen it, by all means, find the clip or else the full VOD. Definitely a race to savor back then. But yeah, Twincam now in 10th position. He's trying to become the first Irish driver to win something, but he came as close as he's ever been last week. So yeah, he's in great form.
Yeah, as Gabber crosses start-finish 7/10 ahead of Nico, as we've got a side-by-side battle just further back between Ruby and Crash. Ruby pulls in behind. Oh, and then ducks back out again. The camera just about picking him up as Steve Martin getting involved.
Yeah, Abs Cargo, and what a username that is. He's been overtaken there by Steve Martin. Just in front, there we are. Ruby and Sobis are now side by side as Crash is pulled away definitively at this stage, and now this very tantalizing left-hander. You feel like you can get on the power, but then it turns back in on itself again, and then just when that ends, you have to go straight to the right here. And these guys are already up the bridge. Here they go. It's Matt Jester in the orange and brown, and Michael Malik on the inside line will have to defend as best he can. Who's braver on the brakes? Matt Jester's left a bit later. Can he make the move? Yes, he can. Excellent pass.
Hachiroku up the inside of Magic. Just couldn't get that done at the apex and has to drop back behind. Oh, Magic's taking a wider line into this sweeping right-hander. Different lines being used here. Hachiroku back on the offensive, and he is a nose ahead and he's through.
Yeah, that was good lurking there just to wait for the moment. Oh, a bit of contact with Tamuli there, and that's going to let Tamuli further ahead, actually. It didn't bother the Zafralis driver any point. Gabor just hits the new fastest lap, as you'd expect, as it was the first flying lap, really, after the standing start at 1 minute 34.76p.
And your fellow countryman's just made a move on Rid over
Nice.
start-finish. Twincam up into... Well, actually, no, Rid's coming back at him. Rid will have the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, and the switchback denied as Rid blocks the apex. And that's allowed Thamuli right behind to close up. Just a word to you Twitch fans. Thamuli and Montemacari both live on Twitch at the moment. Thamuli at Thamuli_ and Sobis at Sobis34. If you want to catch them live, Twitch usernames on the stream there.
See a few comments on YouTube, which is great to see. So hello to everyone on YouTube.
Matt Jester is not only holding on to third place, but he's starting to open a small gap over Michael, who will very soon be distracted by Lorenzo. Lorenzo closing up on fourth place at the moment. As we head on to lap 3, actually coming to the end of lap 3 now. But it is Gabber with a 2-second lead out of the final corner, ahead of his teammate Nico Pantola, masquerading as Jorg Burgermeister tonight. And Jester, only P3. Twin Cam has got draft on Rid. To the outside he goes. Rid defends the inside. Can he make it stick this time round? It's not as straightforward as it looks, but the outside line has favoured quite a few drivers so far in the race. Rid was able to hold it around the outside of Twin Cam on the previous lap, and Twin Cam's doing exactly the same thing back to him. Owen, this is great stuff. What a move.
Ah, lovely. Well played. And now there are more green machines to be caught by the Irish driver here. Rony is following a UM21 there, so no shortage. Colours there, so Unknown Master 21 is the full name. So yeah, that's a good, reasonably new name to have, and he'll have his work cut out against the series organizer.
I will stop you there. UM21 has been around since the birth of time, right. But yeah, I don't know if he's been around in.
It's been a long time, but he's
been
back.
A very long time. Yeah, good to see him back. As you can see there, Twin Cam leaving Rid for dust as he tries to close up to the back of Rony and UM21 there, and yeah, UM21 being bumped around. Yeah, and Twin Cam is going to make full use of that. He's already up alongside, and they have the inside line for the next turn as well. And Rid might follow him through as well
Rid.
Here.
Oh, careful! He's hit Twin Cam just a tad there, but I think both drivers were able to tidy up the mess. Hachiroku got a smack on the rear there, as Tamuli feels like an attack right on the start-finish straight.
Yep, so cars bumping into one another, getting pretty close and personal.
Yeah, Nico got the fastest lap just there. So Gabor, he's wanting to lead 1,000 laps in RTFR history. He's just a handful away now, but Nico had a much better lap last time, so he's going to put the pressure on his teammate.
Yeah, it'd be good to see somebody upset Gabba's day slightly, just to give it some variety there. But yeah, an amazing milestone if he can manage it today, and why not? It's an interesting circuit. This really great views that we're seeing here, and probably quite enjoyable to slipstream one another up and down these long straights. But Rony will be hoping that Tamuli cannot get into the slipstream to try and get through. Here is Tamuli.
Yeah, you can see him now on Twitch. His channel Tamuli _ and his onboard camera, which lets you get all the lovely onboard stats information, like his tire usage, his brake and acceleration usage, etc. So that's great to have if you want to hop over to his stream at any stage. Last lap better for Gabor, so he's pulled out more of an advantage again by another half a second. Matt Jester versus Michael is looking like a tasty battle. Of course, in these slower corners, it won't be as cut and dry, to be honest. Matt Jester should have control for the long left-hander. But yeah, good to see two cars in with a shout of victory.
Yeah, Nico is looking a little bit racy today. 1 second only the gap as they managed to pull even further away from Mad Jester. But we'll see what the gap is over the split line there. And yeah, Gabba slightly pulls away. It's going to be close. Gabba saying in the chat that team orders, we stay like this. But Nico will not be listening to that. That is nonsense.
Yeah, very cheeky to be suggesting that. But anyway. Something may have happened to Steve Martin. He's dropped down to 23rd position now. He was about 18th or 19th, but now he's in a battle with LG Meese. So that has been quite a blow to his chances. I know he's been cursing his luck on camera since the summer break is now over. So yeah, it seems like another tough day for him, but still another 14 laps to go. Not too difficult, I suppose, with that amount of time, hopefully.
Yeah, as Mika Sarkkinen having to grab a load of opposite lock to stop himself from sliding out wide and hitting Steve, but looks like he's struggling with his tyres. It doesn't look from his onboard that he's got hot tyres, it's possible they're just too much pressure because he's sliding around a lot. Just not able to get the power down, as Steve now opens up a bit of a gap.
There's a chance. Abscargo and Magic Door and front panel collision there. Magic just trying his best to round this corner, but Abscargo wants the inside line, Pete, so he has to be quick now, block, or else it's Magic down the inside again. Yeah. Oh, he's got it. Good run out here.
Yeah, so such a weird complexion to some of these corners. Like, you think someone's got the edge and then they don't, and then they do. There's lots of different ways to take this track, and well, it's providing some great overtaking action as Magic will attempt to get back past on the run down to the end of the back straight. Down the ramp they go, and he is back through. And Gabba has led 1,000 laps zone.
An absolutely remarkable achievement, considering races can be as short as about 7 or 8 laps, depending on the length of circuit, all the way up to about 30 to 40. So to lead 1,000 laps plus 1 now, I think he's up to 1,001. It is a truly sensational achievement. Oh, he's nearly overshot the corner there, but his motivation to win here is quite high, because in the FZ 5, he's never won in it before, because Fast is the only driver who's ever won in it twice in the previous 14 races that's been used.
Interesting stat. The driver you mentioned obviously not here to compete, but Gabba looks like he might have a challenge on his hands in the form of his own teammates, so we'll see how it goes. As Obis there trying to close up to the back of Martin McCarry, and Gabba has opened the gap to over 1.5 seconds now. So while these two are pulling away from Manchester, there's a tasty little battle developing there. Manchester is looking quick though, only 2.9 seconds off the back of Nico. One mistake from Nico and Manchester could be looking at a P2 here.
Yeah, that's possible, but UM21, the veteran who's back in action, has to watch out for Tamuli on his inside, but I'm afraid he's just overshot the corner by a small amount, and that's all Tamuli needed to get the pass done. But yeah, watching these rear temperatures now, if people are pushing a little bit too hard, now's the time just to sit back and let the tires cool, or else you'll definitely feel it towards the end.
Yeah, as we've also got Hachiroku sliding on by UM21, and UM21.
Oh dear, he's gone in the pits.
Yeah.
Damage, maybe?
Possibly. Goes for a pit box, potentially changing tyres, a little bit of a damage repair as well, so it'll be a lengthy one.
Yeah, he's going to be back at the pack if Roto Rugs can catch up. So yeah, that's a tough scene to see, as everyone else, I imagine, will be fueled to the finish and they won't need to repair damage.
Steve on Soini. Steve in the white, Soini in the World Class Lions livery. Arrives at the end of the home straight.
Timu has let Mika Sarkland through as well there. LG Meese picked his pocket, as Timu made sure to stay way behind Steve Martin just to ensure there was no chaos at the first corner. So -2 positions for Timu there, but he could fight back against LG Meese in just a moment. It seems like Timu has lost about a second there already on Mika. Let's see, yeah, he's over a second slower on this lap. Chance for Sobis against Moj Macari just for 12th and 13th. And Magic is watching to see what they get up to. See if he can poach extra points for himself. But Moj Macari has held so far, Pete.
Yeah, these drivers are trying to extrapolate every single bit of track they can, every place that they can find, as we are on the 10th lap, the halfway stage. of tonight's action. Yeah, Sobis, further contact with the back of Motti Macari there. Just allows Rony Magic to get a bit closer.
It's another shot at position here for Abscargo. Magic will be watching to see if there's anything coming in his right-hand mirror. No, not for this lap, but certainly it is close. Abscargo will be right on the bumper in this very, very treacherous part of the lap to end the effort just underneath the bridge there. And you have to be really slow and then bang on the power, but Magic has him covered so far. And that will carry on. But Hachiroku is through on Reed. That's a great pass on the start finish. Oh, and there's Lorenzo. He's closing in on Michael Malik, that's for sure. This lap should be halfway done at this stage. We'll check their split times to confirm how it compares. 49.1 versus 49.06. So, Lorenzo trying his utmost to get fourth position in his special Retro Cup livery, just advertising his own series, which will be held, I think, in September. Starting in September anyway, and going on for quite a few rounds anyway. So that's very exciting to see another series coming up soon.
Yeah, be upon us soon. As Nico still has that fastest lap, and
Michael
Lorenzo there, very very eager to get through on Michael.
I think we've heard that plenty last week as well. So. Oh, and there's trouble here for VM Magic in the Velocity car. He's really struggling this lap, just to watch out for Twin Cam behind. Understeer sort of hell for him at the moment, and Twin Cam almost certainly through on the inside. The rear right is the worst of all for VM Magic. So Twin Cam is ahead, and Rony I don't think will take very long either, if this car cannot slow itself down in the slow corners.
Yeah, Rony not quite close enough to make the move. He'll have to worry about the cars behind him if he's not careful. Needs to try and find a way through if he can. Hachiroku has shown plenty of grunt and determination so far this round, bumping off of all sorts of walls and other people. As again, Rony, a contrasting line through that final sort of hairpin there has left him a little bit vulnerable, but also a long way away from the car he was just fighting with. So interesting. As Nico has brought the gap down to almost a second again. It's gone slightly up there at the sector line, but this is so close. Really, really interesting to see that even though Gabra is leading, if Nico had been able to get just an ever so slightly better start and got ahead of him at the line, this could have been so much different.
Yeah, it's those fine margins that can really decide the winners and losers in motorsports. Just 1.4 seconds, though. It's not completely sealed for Gabor by any stretch, but he is his 45th pole position in RTF4. He wants to make sure that's converted into yet another victory. Steve Martin, he's making more and more gains, as I think Crash has fallen down. Crash all the way down to 21st, but Steve Martin looking and making the pass on Jari Katila.
Yeah, it happened off camera. He's made it through and continues in P18. Jay is his next competitor up the road, but there's a big chunk of time, 3 seconds to close before that'll be a thing. But the micro battle here between Gabba and Nico is just completely neutralised at the moment. There's nothing between them at all. And there's no space really between these 5 cars either. Rony currently leading Magic.
Oh,
Hachiroku, well, he's got through on Magic.
Just said Magic's name, and he's found himself sideways in the second sector, turn 6 or 7 there. He was sideways by himself, but no one was there to capitalise. Sorry, Magic. The race green Magic. Oh, and there's Hachiroku. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's just sort of a symptom of the tight and twisty nature of this track and drivers wanting to stick their noses on the inside, and Hachiroku, unfortunately, they're just being turned around. As the Muli has managed to get past Rid through all of that as well. With VM Magic coming up to the ramp. Of course, Rony's managed to get through and up to P7, and that's Twin Cam just ahead.
Yeah, very impressive run of form here.
Here we go.
Michael Malik under pressure from Lorenzo. Oh, just a small bump and another one, and then into the wall. Michael now exposed if he can't get the inside line defended for the final corner. Lorenzo has to stay high. There's no generous switch back in that corner. So Michael, so far, so good.
Well, Michael's got a handle on this for now. All the while, their chances of the podium have gone away completely. Majesta is so much further ahead now, but finds himself in a definitely what I would call no man's land. 6.5 seconds ahead, and about the same behind. So, yep, P3 looking pretty solid at the moment. But what's going to happen between these two as we head into the final quarter of tonight's race? Just 3 corners to go before we will be on lap 16 of 20. And, well, it's this sort of stage of the race where the drivers may start to wish they weren't driving an FZ5 at full pace, as the tyres will start to change the way the car drives. But out of the final corner, an over start finish for Gabba. And, well, still 1.3. It's not safe by any means, but it is a gap. Is it enough of a gap? We'll find out.
Yeah, the gap has come down this lap, Pete. It was a 134.5 for Nico, aka Jörg Burgermeister, and then Gabor was just about half a second slower. So definitely much better showing for Nico in the late stage, but he needs to do it 2 or 3 more times to stand any chance of actually winning this thing.
Yeah, there are closer battles on track, but this is just intriguing as actually the gap opens up again. Lorenzo is making all sorts of moves around behind Michael Malik here, but still not able to get through, as Nico says his shift has fallen off the table.
Oh no.
Of course, he does use the fully manual approach, but that's not going to help him at all, as Rid now is going for a move on the inside of VM Magic, and he looks to be through up to 9.
Yeah,
There's a long old
played.
straight.
Very nicely played there, Reid. But he has to watch out for any throws of the dice from VM Magic. I suppose now we can differentiate them using their team tags. The velocity driver, yeah, he's coming using that slipstream. Reid even tagged the wall just a little bit, but Magic for velocity just having to slow it right down a little bit earlier than Reid did. So no counterattack available that time. Nico looks to have picked up his gear shift, and he's within a second. So despite that potential critical failure, he's really putting the pressure on Gabor now.
Yep. Hopefully he can work around that issue, and it looks like he has. The gap is now well below a second. I say well below; it's a tenth below. But yeah, Gabba might want to stop typing and start focusing, because even though there are only 3.5 laps to go, if Nico's been able to close the gap while putting a shifter back on the table, then there's pace left within him.
The gap's up another 3/10 though. This is a better lap from Gabor, just when Nico needed him to slow it down. We do have Rotor Rugs. He's going to be blue flagged. He's struggling a bit with the rear right as well. So Rotor Rugs needs to get to the final corner very quickly, or else just duck out of the way under the bridge. He's got 2 choices, and he needs to make one of them urgently to keep this race fair and square.
Oh, this is a pretty tight portion of the track, and he's got both the race leaders coming through. Gabba doesn't want to be held up here, but luckily they're on the home straight now, and Rotor Rugs
That's going to help him, yeah.
Can get out the way, should get out the way, hopefully will get out the way, as we switch to Abscar Go, who's having a move here on Motti McCarry at the end of the back straight, but no, he's backed out of it. As Gabba has to force his way around Rotor Rugs. Rotor Rugs hopefully will allow Nico through.
Worst part of the circuit really for blue flags.
Yeah.
Yes, he's going to understeer. Yeah, bit of contact.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I think the first corner he should have yielded a bit harder.
For sure.
Yeah.
The blue flags should be respected a little bit more strictly than that. And that may have ended any hopes of a fight for the win here. But anyway, that's what happens sometimes in racing.
Of course, yeah. Gabor will be grateful for that slipstream. That's probably given him another 10th or 2 on this lap alone. He got the right time for the blue flag car just to give him a draft. And Nico didn't get the same generosity. So that's probably won the race for Gabor if he keeps it clean. And the rest of the top 5 it's only really Michael versus Lorenzo. That's the only battle that exists for the top 5. Twin Cam a little bit too far back. Rony in P7 also trying his best. I've cursed him. Twin Cam is wide into turn 5, but he has just about recovered. Or sorry, turn 6. Turn 6, he's recovered it. Rony was very close.
We'll have some battles in the final 2 laps. We've got, as you said, Lorenzo is trying desperately to get round Michael. Rony now trying to get round Twin Cam. And further back, Hachiroku bouncing off the walls in pursuit of VM Magic. So plenty still to talk about, as we are on lap 19 now of the 20 build. And Twin Cam needs to run as fast as he can.
Yeah, indeed. Well, he wants to probably get a bit more publicity for himself and indeed the channel, as we clipped the ending to XL last week, and it got a pretty tasty amount of views, I have to say. It went off pretty well.
Did it? I didn't.
Yeah, about 350 at least.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Go and catch it on the channel if you've not. The finish to last week's XL race was pretty special. But yeah, denied a grandstand finish tonight at this stage, but still plenty of positions to be worked out. It looks like Michael is really digging to get away. It's remarkable, honestly, that Nico has managed to stay so close to Gabba without getting close enough for any sort of slipstream or overtake opportunity. They really have been this close all race long. That's it. As we head out of the final corner and onto the final lap for these two.
Yeah, it's less than a second as Nico has put in a new fastest lap. But even that won't be enough to win the race. He has to be better than perfect to snatch the win from Gabor. But that was really good, I have to admit. We're all in agreement there, Pete. That was as good a turn one as you could possibly perform.
Well, he's just managed to pick up the fastest lap of the race again at 1:34.32. It doesn't really mean much to us here, but mainly because the gap is still over a second. Gabo's done everything he needs to do tonight to take the milestone. 1,000 laps led in RTFR in his history, and he's on his way to winning a race in the FZ5. And that is, well, that is a great achievement. But he's got to get there first. Half the lap to go.
It's the last real danger point. If you miss the corner, you're going to be struck by the wall. Perhaps an extra dab of the brakes there just to make absolutely certain. These corners coming up, you just don't want to wall ride them too hard. But yeah, you're going in third gear or second gear just to complete the corner safely. And then it's first gear to wrap it up. And here we go. Just has to avoid a spin. Maybe a power slide for the cameras. Gabor is dominant once again. Season 2 is looking very, very strong for him already. Congratulations, and a very fine performance. Over 1,000 laps led at this stage. Driver of the season, without a doubt.
It's only just begun. But
I know, it has only just begun. Driver of 2025.
2 from 2.
2025, I should say.
Driver of the year, and so far driver of the season. And Nico will be a little bit sad that he couldn't get past him at the start of the race, because I reckon if he had, he would have been pretty well set. Yeah, he was dominating the pace from quite early on, but just could not get close enough to make an impact at the front. As we see the rest of the drivers now finishing, over start finish. There's Hachiroku, had his own fair share of drama. Then VM Magic, Karadas Mosiotis, Motomekari, Abstagago. There is Ruby, closely followed by Magic, and Steve Martin, who in the end gained a few places. I guess once he got comfortable with the car and the track, will come across the line in P17. Next it will be Jay, Yari Katilla, Unknown Master 21 rounds the final corner to add another race finish in LFS to his long list of race finishes. And Mika Sarkinen next in P21. We've got Crash, who fell down the order quite considerably, finishes P22. And Timi Soini is your final car across the line.
Yeah, great to see. Very high finishing rate from everybody today. It's just unlucky there for UM21. He was the only car that needed to take a pit stop. If you add those probably 35 seconds to his time, he would have been fighting for about 12th or 13th, I'd say. So it's a shame we didn't see the very best of him on his return to LFS. But yeah, I'm glad so many drivers did take up the challenge and made it to the end. we have the scenery causing a disruption here to Elmo's cameras. But yeah, our winner, he should be able to find the podium sometime. Hopefully, he's going to probably change his car. He's changed his car.
Is there a podium?
Oh, there's no podium. Never mind.
No, it's an unusual end to RTFR where there is actually no podium. But yeah, that is that. In 31 minutes and 47 seconds, Gabba is your winner. Oh, no, yeah. In fact, he has just made his way around to start-finish. There he is.
Yeah, start-finish, yeah. He
Nico
said he
Patola.
gave himself a new car.
Yeah, Nico Patola is not going to join him by the looks of it. But yeah, somebody lines on by.
Yeah, that was Abscargo, yeah. Uh-oh, watch out!
Oh, that's Michael Malik. Gabba not happy with that. and some donuts. Why not? But yes, in 31 minutes and 47 seconds, Gabba ahead of Nico, ahead of Majesta. Majesta, in the end, just not with the pace to affect the top two, but a well-deserved podium, leagues ahead of Michael Malik in fourth there, 9 seconds adrift, with Lorenzo giving him a hard time the whole race, but not able to get through. I mean, I really thought that Lorenzo had, by the looks of it, he had the pace to get through, but Michael just strong enough on this occasion.
Yeah, indeed. Lorenzo not too far away from snagging that P4 to give his Retro Cup even better marketing prowess, but still top five, comfortably so, as there were strong battles for the top 10, 6th to 10th, really. Everyone in that gaggle was at some stage at a great part of the race, but it was Twin Cam who peaked at the right time there to finish 6th. I think Reid, Hachiroku, and Tamuli were battling quite a lot as well, so they'll be feeling a little bit down that they couldn't hang on to 6th or 7th.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, that is that for tonight's action. We do have, obviously, some more results on the other side. Rotterug's unfortunately not finishing the race. Only, in fact, a lap before the end ran out of fuel. So that's a shame. But, yeah, there we go. 24 drivers registered on our results there, with Nico Pantola scoring the fastest lap, 1:34.32, meaning that all the accolades tonight didn't go the way of Gabba, even though he did pick up that 1,000 laps led milestone in RTFR, which is pretty incredible. As you mentioned, with such short races, really, in terms of lap count, you've got to do a lot of races to clock that amount of laps. So congrats to him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just in our Twitch chat right now. He says, what if Rony makes a mini layout where one lap is 10 seconds long, and that could be 1,000 laps? So I suppose maybe the maths have to be refined a bit there, Gabor, but 10 seconds time, yeah, six laps per minute, half an hour. Yeah, it is about 300 laps at least, so something like that. So yeah, that would be quite the proposal if that was possible.
Well, that's just about all we have time for tonight, but thanks everyone for tuning in to watch us on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, do check out the channels if you are a fan of LFS or want to catch more of our broadcasts in future. A subscription on YouTube, a follow on Twitch would be very much appreciated if you are that way inclined. But that was the 365th ever RTFR. And yeah, I guess that's a special number, isn't it? 365. I don't think we really talked about that much.
For sure, yeah. One race for every day of the year, except leap year. We'll sort that out in September.
We'll sort that out next time.
Next time for leap year race.
Leap year race. World Class Lines, of course, thanks to them for supporting the championship with the prize and the broadcast support too. And yeah, to Race Green for putting on the events, and to the drivers for making it special. To all of you, have a great night. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you all next time. Owen, it's been a pleasure. Good night.
So long.